Good afternoon, dear brothers and sisters. Happy New Week. A good evening also. It depends on where you listen to me from. We thank the Lord who has given us this opportunity again to come together to reflect on a few things. The topic of my sharing today is the enemies of progress. Enemies of progress. What do we mean by enemies? An enemy is someone or something that prevents you from moving forward. Something that prevents you from progressing, from moving a step forward. Enemy is something that stops your movement whenever you want to move. It ties you down. When I talk about enemies, don't think I am talking about human beings. I'm not talking about this person beside you that you think that the person is your enemy. You thinking that this person is your enemy is not what I'm talking about. I'm thinking of enemies that are in us. I hope we know that we can become enemies of our own very self. Me that is talking here, I can become an enemy of my own very self. I can become an obstacle of my own progress. I can become a hindrance of my own good. Okay, so when I talk about enemies, it's not looking at anybody. I'm talking about me, you, being the reason that I am not progressing, you are not progressing. Sometimes we accuse somebody beside us that the person has done something, the person is doing something, without knowing that we are actually the ones blocking our way from moving forward. When things are happening around us, when we are going through things, we could actually look at ourselves, ask ourselves question: am I the cause of this problem? Is any of my characters because of this hindrance I am having now? Is any of my characters, the way I behave, because of this problem? How in any way am I hindering myself? Am I an obstacle to this? When you've really examined yourself and you see that you are not the person, then you know how to make a step forward. And sometimes really, or let me say, when things are going on, if we look well, there's things that we do. Sometimes we are even ignorant of that has caused a problem somewhere. And tomorrow, when these problems start occurring now, we won't remember again that there was something we did, or there was something I said, or maybe it was because of this. But we'll be pointing an accusing finger on an innocent person who doesn't even know anything. So is the reason I want to bring up these points for us, so that we will know really how to avoid being the enemies of ourselves. The worst enemy you could actually have is when it's an internal enemy. Let me just say, if two people are having there's a problem in a family like this, it becomes worse when the enemy is coming from inside. And someone who doesn't even know you anyway cannot even do much things. But it's someone who knows you very well. And people say that the ant that bites you is inside your clothes. So these things I want to talk about, these enemies I want to talk about, it could be these ants that are biting ourselves. It could be the person that is making this problem for ourselves. Why I really want to do this is, when you listen to me, if there are things that you actually do, if there are things that are going on, it will help you to make a little reflection so that you know how to make your step. Now, I want to point, there are so many enemies, so many enemies, but I just want to point out few. These things I want to talk about, they are natural things, but I will give also some points from the Bible. I always have my study Bible here. some points from the Bible for us to know that naturally, even if one says that he or she doesn't believe in Christ, there is law of nature. Law of nature, it's a must. That's what we say, law of karma. Okay, so you can't say you are not a Christian, you don't believe in Christ, or you don't believe in the Bible. Nature, because when you are dealing with nature, when it retaliates, you might even have forgotten that you did something to nature, and this situation now you don't even know again how to go about it. So what I want to talk about, the first one I want to talk about now, is doubt. Doubt. I'll merge doubt and fear. Fear or doubt can prevent you from moving forward. It is the worst enemy you could ever imagine. In one of my videos I did, you can find on YouTube, I talked about sin being the worst enemy. Sin being the worst enemy you can avoid. But these points I want to talk about, there are really other enemies that can block you totally, that you cannot achieve anything. As in, there are enemies that will destroy you physically, spiritually, emotionally, psychologically. It can also affect your financial status if you don't handle them. I said before, fear and doubt. You know, when we give in to fear, when we allow fear to take over us, I have also spoken on one of my topics. I posted it on Facebook, and it's also on YouTube, on topic fear, what it can do. So one of the enemies is fear and doubt. When you have this fear in you, it will never allow you to do anything. It will not allow you to do something as reasonable. For example, for those writing exam, you've prepared, you want to write exam. Now the paper is given to you. You see someone that has studied and studied will have the paper before him, but the person will be shivering. Fear. What the person knows, he or she can't even remember again to write. And the person, maybe later when the person look at the question, this person knows it. He or she has read it. But fear did not allow you to write it. Another fear is when something, as in having this negative mind that you don't see something good. Whatever somebody does to you, you see it bad. Whatever somebody does beside you or says is against you. So you don't have that trust even in yourself or in the other person. It creates fear that even when an ant will pass, you say, who knows? No, who knows what? What are you really afraid of? You really need to ask yourself a question. When this fear is taking you over, ask yourself that, why am I afraid? What is the cause of this? Why am I afraid of this time? Ask yourself a question. If your name is Ijoma or whatever you call, Ijoma, why are you afraid of this? What is happening? So talk to yourself. You see, talking to yourself will give you the courage. Remind yourself of the presence of God. Remember, in the Bible, the Lord told us 365 times we should not be afraid. And we have in the year 365 days. Meaning that each day we have the Lord who is telling us, do not be afraid. Why is the Lord repeating, do not be afraid, do not be afraid? Because He knows that out of our own human frailty, there are things that will make us afraid. But He's assuring us of His presence. Only if we believe in the Lord, only if we read our Bible, we know that the Lord is closer to us more than we can think of. Now, I spoke about doubt and fear. If you remember Peter in Matthew chapter 14, verse 30, when Jesus was walking on the water, going to meet his disciples, the apostles were afraid. So Peter said to him, if really you are the one, Tell me to come. And Jesus said, come. He invited Peter to come. Peter started going. But that doubt entered again Peter. Are you sure I'll make it? Are you sure this water will not swallow me? Are you sure I'll not fall here? Doubt. And fear entered immediately. That is when Peter started sinking. And the Lord stretched out his hand to take him up. And he said, man of little faith. You know, when we are actually convinced of the presence of God, nothing will make us afraid. It's a pity that, especially we Christians, we don't know what we have. We don't know who we are. We don't even know ourselves. That is why we are afraid of any little thing. We don't even know the meaning of being a Christian. Because if we actually know of being a Christian, who is a Christian, if we are actually living as Christians that we are called, nothing will make us afraid. Because we have that Christ in us. We can only be afraid because we don't know who we are. We live life anyhow. And that is how we are being, we are always afraid when situations come because we are not sure of ourselves. But if a Christian really knows what he or she is, reads the Bible, believes in God, lives according to the way of the Lord, there is nothing that will make you afraid. Because you remain kneeling before the Lord in prayer. And before men, you keep standing. Nothing could make you afraid. Because you know the God you are serving, He will never abandon you. If we remember Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in Daniel, they said, oh King, we are not going to worship. Even if our God will not save us, we are not going to worship your idol. That is people that know that there is a God who is always with them. And then when they were thrown into the furnace of fire, the king that threw them, were there not only 3 men we threw in? They said yes. Now I am seeing 4. I am seeing the 4th man. That is it. They believed in the God that they are serving. The God that said that if you obey me, I will always be with you. They obeyed him. And he proved himself. So when we are not even, when we don't live the way we are supposed to live as children of God, that is when we are always afraid. Because we feel the Lord is so far from us that He cannot save us. And when we keep doubting things, we are not going anywhere, we cannot achieve anything. Fear becomes a hindrance. Fear becomes enemy. Another thing I want to talk about, ungratefulness. Ungratefulness. It is an enemy. If you remember in Luke chapter 17, 11 to 19, when Jesus healed these 10 men with leprosy, only one came back and said thank you. Jesus said, where are the other 9? I healed 10. Where are the other 9? And because of this, he received more healing from the Lord. Do you know that when we say thank you to someone who has done something good, we motivate the person to do more. But when we think it's our right or whatever, we merit it or whatever, we'll lose a lot. No matter how little what somebody does for you, no matter how little what the other person gives to you, be thankful. Be thankful. No one is forced to do something for you, and the person chooses from his or her own heart to do something for you, and you are angry. You couldn't even say thank you. Why did you not give me more? I prefer the other one. Say thank you. Appreciate the little so that the big ones can come to you. When you do not know how to appreciate little things, big ones cannot come. So if you are this type that finds it difficult to appreciate what people do for you, to be ungrateful, even to God or your fellow human beings, you are an enemy to your own progress. Because that person that are giving you small, maybe he will say, let me give him small, let me know how he or she will act. And you start behaving somehow, not even thank you will come out of your mouth. The person will keep the remaining. But once the person gives you little, and you come out and say, thank you so much, I appreciate it, the Lord knows how to touch the person to multiply it. Ungratefulness is an enemy of progress. Another thing I want to talk about is jealousy and envy. It's killing us. The Lord said, rejoice with those who rejoice, and cry with those who cry. How could you be rejoicing when the other one is crying? He's really in pain. How could you be in pain when the other one is really rejoicing over the good that the Lord has done for him or her? Jealousy and envy. Why not appreciate the Lord for what he's doing in the life of the other person? Why not appreciate the Lord for what the person is able to accomplish? Why are you going about talking, gossiping about this person? Why are you always criticizing this person? Why are you always looking for ways to make trouble with the one the Lord has blessed? Do you know that when you bless the Lord for what he has done for the other person, the Lord can do the same thing, even more for you? Do you know that? Sometimes we think that being jealous of the other one or trying by all means to be like the other one is the best way. We're only destroying ourselves. If we see the good that is happening in the life of the other person, give the Lord praise. Lord, I thank you for the life of this person. I thank you because of your blessing in this person. I thank you that this person is able to accomplish this thing. If it pleases you, Lord, I like this. If it pleases you, you can give it to me because I need it. Because I need it is not because I want it. There's this difference between need and want. Okay? And the Lord does things when he says that we're really in need of it. Want, I can have the same thing in 2, 3. I still want it again. But in need is that I don't really have it at all. Or maybe this I have will not be enough. Really, it will not be enough. I need more to complete for it to do what I want it to do. Okay? So if you really need it, the Lord has to give it to you. Appreciate the other person. Appreciate the Lord for what he's doing in the life of the other person. Stop being jealous and envy. Destroying the image of the other person out of jealousy. Looking for ways to tarnish his or her image. Telling things that do not exist. Separating friends, families. Destroying the work of the other person because of jealousy. No. Thank the Lord. If it's something the person can tell the person to teach you. Jealousy and envy is an enemy of progress. Not to another person, but to you who is jealous and envy. To you who is doubtful and fearful. To you who is ungrateful. You are an enemy to your own very self. Another thing I want to talk about is lie. If we go to Proverbs chapter 4, that 4 verse 24, the Lord said, let nothing that is not true come out of your mouth. Let nothing untruthful come out of your mouth. Proverbs chapter 4 verse 24. The Lord detests lies. Why are you lying over somebody? Why are you lying over things you know that saying the truth of this can save the life of this person? And because of one thing or the other, you lie over somebody. Because of what you can get, material things, you lie over somebody and this person is suffering. This person is crying. This person don't know how to go about things. This person don't know how to come about the situation. But he or she is innocent. But you lied. And you think you will not receive the repercussions later. You think the nature is not noticing what you are doing. Even if nobody saw you, the Lord on high sees everything because up there he looks at each and every one of us. The Lord is always present wherever we think we are. Here I am, he's present with me. Where you are, he's present. So whatever you do, you think you're hiding, he's seeing you. There is nothing that could be hidden in the sight of God. Nature cannot hide evil. If you are lying against somebody because you want to get things, karma will meet you. Maybe then you might even forgotten. If you are lucky again, maybe you can remember. Some God can pass through somebody to remind you of what you have done to the other person, ask for forgiveness. Mind you, be careful. He's not asking for forgiveness and the pains you've caused this person. And tomorrow the person doesn't forgive, so the person doesn't forgive. I'll still talk about forgiveness, but I'll use it as a topic because it's something very big. Forgiveness is not something easy. It's only the grace of God. If you have really been hurt in life, if you have really passed situations that hurt, you see that forgiving somebody, it demands a lot of energy. And only the grace of God. But I'll talk about it as a topic on its own. So if your job is to lie against somebody, you are enemy of your own progress. Another thing I want to talk about is inferiority complex. It's killing so many people. Hey, me, I know I don't have this, I know I don't know this, and so I cannot do anything. Who told you that? Who told you that? Who told you that you don't have the capability to do things? Who told you that you don't have the gift of performing things? There is nobody on this earth that doesn't have a talent. When you see that somebody is doing something, when you appreciate the Lord for what the person has done, beg the Lord to help you to develop your own. But when you feel, especially when people are in group, and there's maybe, let me just take it for example, one knows how to sing very well. Instead of you to appreciate the person, might you have a very beautiful voice. You just sit down there. I don't know how to sing. Look at how they are calling the other one to always sing and all that. It will bring hatred to you. It will bring jealousy to you. You can't even do, even that you should know how to do, you can't even do it again. Inferiority complex. It can make you to do anything. When you meet people who are beautiful, tell them they are beautiful. If you meet handsome guys, tell them, guy, you are handsome. Sorry, guy, you are handsome. It's not when you see somebody that is beautiful, you start feeling, oh, the way I am. Oh, look at how ugly I am. Look at this person, how he or she is. No. Each and every one of us, we are beautiful the way the Lord made us. So make yourself beautiful as in from inside. Make sure nothing dirty is inside your heart. Put a smiling face on your face. As in, be the best you could. If it's makeup that makes you more beautiful, do it every time, whenever you want. If being natural makes you beautiful, do it. So whatever that makes you beautiful, makes you happy, do it. In as long as it's not against God. In as much as it's not a sin against God, that what makes you happy is not a sin against God. Go on and do it. You see that you make yourself happy. Appreciate yourself the way you are. If you are ugly like me, I know that the way I am, yeah, that's the way the Lord created me. Lord, I appreciate you. I know I am beautiful the way I am. So even if you are ugly like me, try to appreciate yourself, because me as I am, I do appreciate the Lord for the way He made me. I know there are so many beautiful and handsome guys out there, and when I see them, I do tell them, you look so beautiful, God's creature. You look so handsome. It doesn't remove anything from me. It doesn't change me. I feel so happy when I appreciate this person. I feel so happy when I tell this person how he or she is. And if I see you dress well, I'll tell you, you're looking so gorgeous with this you're dressing. And that is me. When I finish it, I leave it there and go. Okay? So when you don't appreciate yourself the way you are, the way the Lord made you, you always see yourself little than others. Everybody has his own talent, as I said it. The other one has his talent, this one has it. Develop your own. Let your own be known also. As in, it's not showing off yourself, but whenever there is occasion, give yourself to handle this thing because you have the talent. Not for pride, but in honor of the Lord who gave it to you and for your own salvation. And you see yourself being more happier. Because if out of inferiority complex, you remain where you are, you cultivate jealousy, envy, all these things inside you, you are the enemy of your own progress. Another thing I want to talk about is pride. 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 In the book of Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 12, the Lord said, those who are proud will be disgraced. Pride is the beginning of downfall of a man. So just try to be humble. Pride has really destroyed so many people. Pride has really rendered great men and women useless, as it has brought them down to nothing. Pride. No matter what you think you are today, no matter what you think you have today, it's just something that is material. People have had more than that. People will still have more than that. With that thing you think you are bragging with, you think that you are heaven and earth. It could be something like for dustbin in somebody's house. So what you think is so, maybe, for example, there is a particular soap you use to take your bath, and for you are a rich guy, that is the highest soap and all that. Maybe someone says the person is using it to wash clothes. So the thing you people have I'm sorry. So what you have to know is whatever you are doing, whatever you have in this life, somebody else had it already. There is nothing new. No matter how rich you think you are, someone is richer than you. No matter how beautiful, handsome you think you are, that is making your head to go. Someone is more beautiful, handsome than you. So there is nothing new in this life that will bring pride to you. You become arrogant. You no longer respect people. You don't even respect not even the big or even the small. Mind you, no matter what you have, don't look down on anyone. There is one saying, they say, never you look down on someone unless you want to admire their shoes. Because this person you see below here can be on top of you tomorrow. Be very careful. Pride has destroyed so many people. When you have some material things, you'll be telling yourself, yes, so be careful. Pride can destroy you. You can be the enemy of your own progress with pride. The Lord said in Proverbs chapter 8, verse 13, I hate the arrogant. I hate pride and arrogance. Mind you, whatever you are, whatever you have comes from the Lord. And He can take it away from you in a twinkle of an eye. So do not even brag with the things that you have. Another thing I want to talk about is gossip. I've touched it when I talked about something here, jealousy, speaking against people and other, about lies and other. Gossip. Proverbs chapter 11 verse 12 said, if you are sensible, you keep your mouth shut. One who is sensible, do not speak anyhow. One who is sensible, don't allow words, unnecessary words, useless words come out of his or her own mouth. So I am begging us to look at ourselves. If you are the type of speaking against this one, just because you want to present yourself as a good person, you're making a great mistake, because you end up destroying yourself. Because when they will find out what you do, everybody will run away from you. Nobody will even like to help you. Because with these enemies I talk about that you can become for your own self, people avoid people like this. When you're a jealous and envious type, people avoid you. When you're the type that gossip, people will avoid you. If you're the type that have this inferiority complex that doesn't help you don't take courage to pick up something, people will allow you to be you. They will just leave you and look for people that are courageous to do things. If you are the proud ones, they will abandon you. So for us not to be enemies of our own progress, we really need to examine ourselves. So when we are saying that others will have enemies, others are enemies, let us know if it's from ourselves. If we are the problem for ourselves, I pray the good Lord will help us to understand, will help us and enlighten us on how we are living so that we won't be the enemies of our own progress. Thank you.